It's modifiable. You can work on it.
Yeah, you can do something.
The other one is stress. In this era,
nowadays,
where the stress is very high,
you
know, and these stress, they all have a way of increasing your blood pressure. Okay, and then also we have what intake of high intake of cholesterol or the bad fats. The bad fats. What happens is that the bad fat clog your blood vessels.
So
they block it. Exactly. Flowing. It's just like gutter, you know, in this rainy season.
Yeah, the rubbers and all the rubbish.
It chokes the gutter. So the water is not able to flow freely. So what happens is that the heart will be forced to pump higher. And this will increase. So fatty, substances or bad fat can actually clog or block your blood vessels. So we call them plagues. Okay, so when they block it like that, they are not able, the heart, as the heart is pumping, the heart faces resistance. So because of that resistance, the heart will be forced to pump higher, and that will increase your BP. So these are some of the modifiable risk factors for the essential or primary hypertension. Then non-modifiable is hereditary.
Yeah.
I mean, we call it positive family history. Okay, once your mother has it, your father has it, it is likely you also have it.
There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. So it's non-modifiable. Yeah. So such a person, all you can do is make sure you take your drugs, make sure you keep yourself well.
Or maybe because you know it's in the family, you try to live a certain way. Ebianka wudi 30 no uye wa brabo basabasa ebeba ntem ba utimi hwe ho so ye ebecha kakra ansa na ebeba aba.
Exactly. So that is for the primary hypertension. And I make I say no dodro na fall within that one. It has no known cause. But I know risk factors nyame bia obeya ebetimi cause it. Those were some of the stress. Okay. And then also we have age. Okay, aging, it is also non-modifiable. As we are aging,
it comes with a whole lot.
Exactly. So research shows that your blood pressure increases with age, especially the top one. We call it the systolic. Okay, it increases with age. It's non-modifiable. You can't do anything about it. And then also race.
Okay.
Hypertension increases in Africans. When you the blacks. When you compare the blacks to the whites, we are 5 times higher. I mean, have the chance.
It's like fibroids.
Exactly, like in a woman.
Yeah, black women.
Yes. And then also sex.
Oh.
So males are more prone to hypertension.
Wow.
Than women, they are counterpart women. But
how is that?
Yes, that is what research has shown.
Wow.
But when the woman gets to about 55 years of age, hypertension increases.
Okay.
Yes. But generally, males suffer hypertension more.
Is it because they are inactive in sex or too much sex? Because I really want to know. Sex, how does it contribute to hypertension? Is it in men too much and now like
it's not just about sex. There are a lot of factors I believe will cause that. Okay, if you want to delve into sex now too,
it will
exactly.
And I was saying your time now. No.
So that's what research shows that I mean sex-wise or gender, the males have more hypertension. And of course, in the hospital I have seen that. See young males reporting to the hospital with this condition more than their counterpart females. So the research could be true.
Okay. Yeah. So when you were talking, you said bad fat. So I would like to know if you can tell us some of the bad fats, things that we are supposed to eat that will help prevent having hypertension.
Sure.
Yes, and things that we are eating that are causing.
Okay. So before I come to the bad fats, I did not talk about the second type of hypertension.
Yes.
I mean the second type.
Okay.
So the second type, we call it the secondary hypertension.
Okay.
It means that
primary and
secondary. Good.
Yeah.
So one will get that one from secondary factors, like probably you had a kidney problem.
Okay.
Exactly. So one must have an existing condition
to
exactly. Then the existing condition, because of that, the person develops hypertension. That is secondary factors.
Okay.
But like I said, the primary one is the commonest, and a lot of people fall within that range. Okay. So these are the basic or the main types of hypertension. Now, talking about fat, it means that we may, let me quickly go to some of the signs and symptoms.
Okay, yes.
Before we come to the management, and then we'll talk about the fat.
And all that.
Exactly. So signs and symptoms. Usually, when you have hypertension, they have pain, that's headache.
Okay.
And this headache, most of the time, is around the occiput. Exactly. The headache could be anywhere, but most of the time with hypertension, you see that it's na or say miti paimi. Exactly. That is most of the time. That's also have chest pains. So Ohana with chest here, don't take it lightly. Come to the hospital. Doctor will run tests and then check him out. Chest pains. Okay, chest pains because the heart is pumping so high.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the blood vessels, sometimes they become hardened.
Okay.
You understand? They become hardened and the rest. And then so the blood is no more going to where it has to go, the lungs and everything. So you see that you may start to experience chest pains. And then dizziness.
Okay.
These are all what some of the signs and weakness. And then somebody will say, I have palpitation. You don't understand. Okay. Easy fatigability, that's what we call it. Okay, these are all signs, common signs and symptoms of hypertension. So if you realize any of these things persistently, please don't sit home. And then some may also start. It may be a sign but also a complication. Okay, you are there and it's like you feel like you can't see well. There was one I received, this young male, a young man, and then he came to the hospital. I checked his BP, very high, 200 and something over 100 and something. Wow. And then he told me he couldn't see. And of course, I receive patients like that. They are not able to see. You see, all because it affects, probably has affected the eye. So if you see any of these signs, please rush to the hospital. Do not stay home. Now, how do we manage this condition? It's very important. A lot of people are not able to manage this condition. And this is what gives rise to the complications and the rest. Now, hypertension, how do I manage? The first thing you have to do is your diet. Your diet, dietary management. So there is a term, we call it DASH, dietary approach to stop hypertension.
Okay.
So the DASH means dietary approach to stop hypertension. So if you're able to eat well, you can manage your hypertension well. How do you eat well? You need to take in a lot of fish servings. Fish, okay? You need to drink a lot of water. Take in vegetables and fruits, you know, and then reduce a lot of fat, and then take in a lot of fiber. If you're able to do this, you are able to manage your hypertension because we talked about salt intake. They come to the hospital, oh, but uber corner offer Kobe. No, for more money, exactly. What you say? Oh, I don't take salt. Udi Kobe. Kobe is equally like you have a lot of salt.
Yeah, a lot of salt.
So to our listeners or our viewers, there's one thing about taking in a lot of salt or sodium attracts a lot of water. It retains water.
Okay.
It retains water. So as you take in a lot of salt, you are retaining a lot of fluid in your system. Now the heart is signaled. And our command worker says, oh, I have a lot of moja, I have a lot of fluid in my system.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
With it?
With it. I have to pump more. You know, I told you that the basic function of that is to pump blood.
Yes.
Okay, so the heart sees that as a lot of work. Then I have to push all to the various organs, to the eyes, to the brain. You know, so once the sodium retains water, so the heart also comes in and says, okay, ejumaba, then I have to work hard. Then the heart will begin to pump and push all this fluid into the various organs, thereby increasing the pressure. I said that as the heart is pumping, it's moving through vessels. Okay, and it's pumping with a certain pressure, which should be normal. But there are some things that can increase. And we are saying that one of the things is that when you take in so much sodium diet, it will retain water. The heart will feel that, okay, I have a lot of work to do. Then I have to pump harder and harder. Then your pressure is going up. Before I forget, we should know the normal pressure.
I even wanted to ask.
The normal pressure. So it should be 120 or less or equal to 120, 80.
Okay.
Less or equal to 120, 80 mm Hg. Okay. So if you check and then you see that now you are not within that range, then there's a problem. There is a problem. So the first, like the monitoring, management. So we talk about the dietary management. Eat well.
What to eat and
what you eat.
Not
Reduce sodium intake. And sodium is not just salt. You can find in processed foods. So when you go to the shops, when you go to the shops and you buy your tin or canned foods, please check the label. Look at the sodium content. All these can add up. So it's not just the table salt that we take. Okay, reduce your what? Your fat. So this is where we come to the fat, the cholesterol. We have the good one and the bad one. Okay, I'm not here to tell our viewers to go and then get this type of oil.
Just know that we have good one and bad one. Even the good, you have to take it in moderation.
Exactly. So we have the animal fats. That one is really high most of the time, what we call the saturated fats. So you have to eat in moderation, like we said. Everything in life should be in what? Moderation. Okay, so the vegetable fats, they are very good. Okay, that we have a lot on the market that you can go and then look for. So that is for the diet. And then 2, exercise. These days, Ghanaians are rising to the fat. People are now realizing. You wake up early in the morning, you see somebody going for jogging. You see, meaning that people are coming to the realization that it manages your BP very well. But you have to be very careful. It should be in moderation, especially if you are already a known hypertensive. Because you have hypertension already, there's a problem in your system.
So
and then you
go
doing vigorous. You see,
so
vigorously
brisk walking
perfect.
Fine.
Brisk walking early in the morning. Okay, it's fine. Swimming is another good exercise. So do not engage in vigorous exercise if you have been diagnosed with hypertension.